Wilson Ramos finding a new home here after signing with the Detroit Tigers to a one-year, $2 million deal is the former Met and two-time All-Star Wilson Ramos. So Wilson Ramos here, it's a decent landing spot for him. I think there'll be opportunities for him to DH as well, like he did last season when the DH was in the NL. But now Ramos here at 33 years old, he's going to be this season. He's going to catch and DH here with this Detroit team, and it's a good deal for Detroit. 1 year, only $2 million for a guy who has pretty decent upside, even though last season was a down year for Wilson Ramos. In 2019, he had a great year, 141 games played with the Mets, 14 homers, 73 RBIs for Ramos, a 288 batting average, a 351 on base, and a 768 OPS. So Ramos, a great year in 2019, and last year in the shortened season year, obviously it's a small sample size, and you're not going to go crazy over it, what he did, but it was a down year. 45 games played, 5 homers, 15 RBIs, a 239 batting average, 297 on base, and a 684 OPS for Ramos. So Ramos last year, it was a down year. He was slow out of the gate. He still hit 5 home runs, which isn't totally horrible in 45 games, and he only struck out 31 times in 142 at-bats as Ramos. So he's a guy that's known for putting the ball in play, but obviously anything on the ground, he's going to ground out. The real knock on Ramos, though, is his defense isn't good at all, and that's a reason the Mets moved on from him and decided to go with James McCann on a 4-year, $44 million deal. But anyway, Ramos, I think he'll be decent in Detroit. It's a pretty good hitter's park, and he could DH and catch as well, and it's only a 1-year deal. So both sides it works for. And Ramos, if he has another good year, maybe he could land a multi-year deal in free agency next season. And this year they're projecting him 14 home runs, 62 RBIs with a 267 batting average, and a 332 on-base percentage. So those numbers, I could see are possible for Ramos. Last year he did hit 5 home runs, like I said, in only 45 games. So if he played a full season at 120 to 130 games on the year, he probably would have hit 12 to 15 homers at Ramos. And for fantasy baseball this season, he's a catcher you definitely could get in the later rounds of your fantasy drafts. Anywhere, I would believe, from the 15th round or later, probably even 18th round or later, you could get Ramos. I know catcher is not a good position in fantasy, and there's only 5 or 6 good guys at the position right now. But Wilson Ramos, throughout his career, he's been a pretty solid catcher when he stays healthy. And I think with Detroit, with no pressure on him, and just a team where he could DH and go out there and play as a veteran presence, I think he could have a decent season and have decent fantasy value. So Wilson Ramos signs with Detroit Tigers, and we'll see what he does in the 2021 season for the Tigers and in fantasy baseball.